Everyone, Kim here, Backroad Picking, and I am here today to talk about offers. As you know, we are full-time sellers on eBay. We also sell on Etsy, Poshmark, Whatnot, and we have a little bit on Mercari and, of course, backroadpicking.com. And then we do have our Peddler small booth in Lebanon, Ohio. So talking about offers, if you're a reseller, you know what I mean. Buyers love to send offers, and depending on the platform, you can accept them, you can decline them, you can counter, you can even automate the process if you choose to. But how you handle offers can really impact your sales and your profits. So I'm going to share with you how I personally approach offers and why I don't use automation and my thought process behind that, and deciding to say yes, no, counter, and give you a price. So first of all, let's talk about the offers across all of the platforms. Each platform handles offers differently. On eBay, for example, a buyer can send you an offer if you opt in. So you can opt into offers, to accept offers on each individual item. You can turn it on or off. We have it on every single item. And then as those are sent to you, you can set those up to be auto-approved or auto-declined based on price or whatever criteria you give it. And that is all handled during the listing process. Or you can set it up to just do that as you go through and receive offers, and it's a manual process. On Poshmark, they're kind of built around offers, so it's part of the culture there. We use a tool called Vendoo, and we send out offers on Vendoo through Vendoo. Those are automated. I just let Vendoo handle that for us. With Poshmark and with Mercari, all of the offers are just automated and they just go out automatically. If we get an offer, I review each one. Whatnot is real time, and it's like a real negotiation when you get an offer from somebody. And those are a little different because they go back and forth. And if somebody makes an offer on Whatnot, it's kind of a binding contract. They're supposed to follow through with it. And you have a little more time as a seller on Whatnot to accept or decline an offer. Where, like on eBay, it's 48 hours, I believe. And on Poshmark, I actually am not sure what the length of time is on Poshmark, because normally I see my offers within just a few hours and I make decisions pretty quickly. Etsy, well, that's a little different. Buyers can make offers, but it's a completely manual process there. First of all, as a seller, you have to set it up so that you accept them. Second of all, as a buyer, you're basically sending an email to the seller saying, I'm offering you this price. And it's an email that comes to us as sellers, and it has the item and then it has your price. And then I click like accept, and I have to fill in the amount. Now it'll autofill for me the amount that you offered, and I can say yay or nay. And it's basically send a final price back to the buyer, either the price they offered or a counter price, but there's nothing automatic about it. And the buyer doesn't have to complete that as a sale. There's nothing binding. It's not a contract. It's basically a way for a buyer to play games at times, is kind of what I feel like. And I've had people do that on Etsy, where they've made an offer, they don't buy, they come back a couple days later, they make another offer, they still don't buy. Generally the third time, forget it. I just ignore them. I say no, thank you. And I just close it out. But I have had people do that, and I really have to wonder if that's, I don't really get it. I don't know why you would do that. But on Etsy, they do not have to pay. They do not have to complete it. On eBay, there's two ways to handle that as far as completion goes. You can set it up to force people to automatically pay and not accept offers from somebody who doesn't. I accept offers from people who don't pay. But there's a way to tell on eBay if somebody's going to pay you or not when you're looking at the offer, because the offer area within eBay will say this is a binding contract if they're set up for automatic pay. And then it also says something like you can accept multiple offers if they don't have automatic pay set up. So if it's a really high priced item and they do not have automatic payment set up, I may or may not accept their offer. We'll see. So there's that. But no, sellers don't have to accept offers. I choose to. And I think it creates good engagement, and sometimes it helps move inventory a little faster. So why don't I automate? Because you can automate on eBay, and I do automate on Poshmark and Mercari. But I don't automate on eBay because it's our main selling channel. And I do not choose to allow each item to just be preset with a discount. I feel like every offer deserves attention. If I automated, I'd have to set rules ahead of time. And if something goes long in selling, I don't want to do that. So I don't want to have to set the rule for an item as I list it. And what if I change my price on the item? I do price checks on items periodically and go back through and see what the market is like. And if the market has gone down in price, I may lower our price. Well, if I have a preset, then I have to adjust that as well, or I can't adjust my price. And it's a whole thing on eBay. And as an example, what that means is if I'm selling an item for $50 and I've set it up to auto accept any offer of $40 or more. And then I later look at it and I figure out that, oh, these are only selling on average for $41. And I change it to $41 and I forget to change my automated process for offers. I'm still set up to only accept offers for $40 or more. Well, what happens there? So the offer for $39 is just going to get auto declined. And I don't want that because if I'm selling something for $41, odds are I'll accept $39. So I prefer to review each offer on a case-by-case basis. And that it does take a little more time, but allows me to factor in a lot of things that automation just can't do. And part of that is like how long an item's been listed, what the comps say, or even the season, and when something was listed. So how do I decide? Well, when I get an offer, I look at a few things. I look at how long has it been listed? When was it listed? Has it been here just a week, maybe a couple of days? If that's the case, I'm probably not giving more than about a 10 to 12% discount, if at all. And honestly, I run coupons a lot, so you'd probably get a better deal just using a coupon than making an offer on it. I always check comps on solds. I check comps that have sold, not comps that are listed. And I look to see what things have been selling for, what people are asking doesn't matter to me. I want to know what it sold for. And I use tools. I use WorthPoint, and then of course we use eBay, and we research on eBay through Terapeak. And I'm using these to see long-term history because we do sell antiques and collectibles and vintage, and a lot of our items are rare. We just sold a Tonka truck like a week ago that every time they get listed, they sell probably in 20 minutes, are sold in 10. Simply because they're extremely rare to find. So those are the types of things that I want to be able to research. Then the next thing that I do look at is current listings. If something's not real rare, and let's talk about like an anchor hocking dish. Anchor hocking dishes, there's a lot of them. There's a lot out there. If somebody makes me an offer on something, I want to check and see how many are listed. If it's something where there are 20 of them listed and only 2 have sold in the last 60 days, I'm probably going to accept that offer, depending on, where we're at with the offer. Keep in mind that I can pull things down at any time and take them over to my flea market booth, to my peddler small booth, and put them in there and probably get the price that I want at Peddler Small. So accepting an offer isn't always going to be something that I do. I also can pull down inventory and sell it on Whatnot and do live shows and sell it that way. So finally, my last consideration is my cost. I will look at what I paid for an item. Early on, my best cost matters a lot if it's an early listing. If it's a long tail listing that's been out there a while, what I paid matters a lot less. I don't necessarily care about dropping my margin some. The longer it sits, the less important it is to get my original margin. At that point, I'm more focused on freeing up space and refreshing in fresh inventory. So those are kind of some of the things that I do. So some real life examples I wanted to tell you about. We sold a Nickelodeon Paw Patrol foam puzzle. It was listed at $15.99. I took a $10 offer on it. It was, that's a huge discount. Huge. Why? Well, first of all, it was listed for over a year. Second of all, it had zero cost in it. This was something that had belonged to my granddaughter, and we just wanted to move it along. When we listed it, we probably excuse me, didn't know what to list it for, because it's not something that we would have put a lot of time into. So we were happy to take the $10 and move it along to somebody else who wanted it. Another example is these Lusterware canisters that I had listed. They were Lusterware canisters. They were peach. They were from Germany, and it was a 3-piece set of coffee and tea and rice. And they were small, little, like 8-inch. And I had these listed for $69.99, and I did take like a $52 offer on it. And there were a couple of factors in that. Number one, they had been listed for about 6 or 7 months. It's a pretty specific audience that wants something like that. But number two, the person that made the offer was a repeat buyer. They buy quite a bit from us. And if you're a repeat buyer and we have conversations going back and forth and we have a relationship, there's a real good chance that I'll consider your offers, because I know that you're going to come back when I offer something else like this and that you're watching what we're doing. So I do consider, your loyalty to us and what that looks like. We talk about social selling, and people like to say, well, eBay, there's nothing social about it. Yes, there is. You can email us and you can talk to us. And in fact, I'll give you my phone number, and, you can give us a call if you want to ask about a product. I have no problem with that. I have a person that I'm working with right now. She sent me a whole list of items that she's looking for that I'm sending her back, the things that we have in eBay. Will I offer her discounts on them? Absolutely. Because if she's interested in buying a bunch of stuff from us and keeping us as a supplier for her as she refurnishes a house, I am certainly interested in helping her find what she's looking for. First of all, it's fun for me. Second of all, it's profitable for me. And third, I get to go out and look for things even when I don't already have it in stock. And I'm helping somebody, and I'm helping keep items out of the landfill. So these are things that I like to do. That's how I like to handle offers as a reseller. It's not about saying yes to everything. It's certainly not. There are a lot of times when I just say no, or I counter with something that I know they're going to decline, but that's okay. And it's not about guarding every penny either. For me, it's about a balance, moving inventory, keeping buyers happy, and still making a profit. It all has to balance out. So if you're a reseller, I'd love to hear how you do this. Do you use automation for offers, or do you review them manually like I do? Drop a comment and let me know. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if this is helpful for you. And make sure you follow along so that you can hear more tips and more information about reselling, my booth updates, and everything that's going on with us. And I'll see you on the back road. Bye.